Hi everybody, I'm Steve Boyce. Welcome back to The Scoop. We're broadcasting live from the Experiential Marketing Summit here at the MGM Grand Casino and Resort Hotel. This is a fantastic venue for a fantastic event. EMS, of course, celebrating its 20th anniversary with this amazing experience. And we're excited here at B-Dance in 90 Seconds to be broadcasting on our Scoop program, bringing you all the highlights, the hot takes, and the insider take on this amazing event. We're going to start here today with a great setup and interview. I've got two gentlemen here from IPME, and I'm excited to be joined by the CEO, Bill Hinchliff. Bill, great to have you on The Scoop.
Hey, thank you for having us. We're excited about it.
And also Craig Raposa. Craig, great to have you here on The Scoop.
Thank you. Yeah, we are excited to be here as well.
Wonderful. Now, folks, we want to bring you all of the excitement of this event, and Bill and Craig are here to talk a little bit about IPME. We want to focus on some of the key exhibitors and sponsors here at the Experiential Marketing Summit and learn the inside take on why they want to be here at this great event, promoting and marketing their organization to brand leaders and brand stewards. So I'm going to go ahead and open with Bill. Bill, again, it's great to have you with us. You are the CEO of IPME. I know you folks are one of the premier exhibitors here at the Experiential Marketing Summit. Is this your first year at this event, or are you guys regulars at EMS?
Actually, we've been coming back to EMS for a few years now, mainly as attendees. But last year in November, actually spoke in Chicago at the summit, and that was a great experience. But this will be the first time we actually had a booth, a physical see it, touch it, feel it.
Fantastic.
So.
Well, and folks, we hope to give you some inside shots of that booth experience. It is incredible, let me tell you. So more on that in a little bit. Now, Bill, as the CEO of IPME, first of all, let's help our audience understand, what does IPME stand for?
IPME stands for International Port Management Enterprise, and kind of dates back over 10 years where we come out of the shipping container world, starting back over 15 years ago. People just sold containers back in the day, and customers would call us up and they said, hey, can you build a container house, a school, a container mall? And we said, you know what, I don't know if we could do it, but let's just give it a shot.
Okay.
So we pulled in the architects, the engineers, the general contractors, and we actually pioneered the purpose use of shipping containers as permanent structures. And in fact, if you go down to Las Vegas, south of Fremont Street, you'll see Container Park. That was our project, partnering with Breslin Builders and the late Tony Shea.
Oh, wonderful. So we'll circle back on that in a minute, because I want to explore more of the history of that. But I want to make sure that our audience understands what we're talking about when we talk about containers. So Craig, I want to bring you in on the conversation. What are these containers? Where do they come from? And how can they be utilized?
So the shipping containers, your classic kind of how the world receives product globally, manufactured primarily in China, put on large ships. We're lucky enough to kind of come into a market where we can actually reuse them and repurpose them and give a different life cycle and a different opportunity to use the container as a nice modular structure.
Fantastic. So these are the shipping containers. I understand there's a term called multimodal, right? I've seen these things riding on boats. They go to trains, then they become the back end of a semi-truck, right, on the highways. These are the things we're talking about.
Absolutely, yep. Everything, transported on big cranes, ships, trains, and chassis and containers, just like you talked about.
Fantastic. Now, how long were you guys in the shipping business before you discovered that there is an opportunity to reuse these and repurpose these in a marketing format?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I'd say close to 10 years ago, we just got pulled into the experiential world because of our experience with building high-end finish, being able to build anything and deliver anywhere. The experiential marketing world just pulled us in to just use it for VIP spaces, mobile tours, and it just fit perfect because we weren't afraid of it. Containers are big, you got to have specialty equipment, you got to be able to store them, and we just so happen to have the space and the intellect to be able to pull it off. So
fantastic. We were here yesterday during the load-in of the space, right, which is always an exciting time. Unfortunately, I didn't get here soon enough to see you guys actually set up your exhibit. I would love to have seen how that happens. Now, are the general forklifts enough to move these things, or do you need much heavier machinery
Yeah,
to
well,
move the
it
stuff
obviously
around?
depends upon the access,
Okay.
where you're going, and how big of a project that you're building. Multi-story, 3, 4, 5 high. Some of the projects we do are 5 stories, 189 containers. We'll bring in cranes for that. But for your typical trade show, where it's just your simple forklift, 15K, you know, and a small, very small crew, and I think that's a sweet spot. We can erect within where most booths are, you know, they take most of the day or a couple of days in some cases, depending upon the size. We can finish it within a couple of hours in many cases.
Okay, great. And Craig, what's the minimum footprint that a brand would need to utilize some of these container-based solutions?
It's all
No.
scalable. So
Okay.
we have small systems, 10-foot units, so you can go in a 10 by 10 space,
Nice.
just like your pipe and drape.
Okay.
Or you can scale it out, very common, 10 by 20s. 20 by 20 is a very good sweet spot because we have a big drop-down walls that transform, pop-up awnings. We can add a second story, stairs, so we can make these grander VIP experience or outlook, stouter presence, big branding, kind of chunky, big, stout kind of presence.
That's fantastic. And what kind of models do you have in terms of how brands utilize your products and services? Craig, we talked a little bit before we opened the segment. I believe there's a rental model and a purchase model. Love for you to describe to the audience and folks who may be interested in incorporating these, you know, into their brand experiences. What are their choices when it comes to utilizing these solutions?
Well, the unique thing that we offer is this great proposition. We've got 16 different container assets in our fleet models. We got more than that, but you can reconfigure them any way like a Lego. So like I was saying, I've got a 10-foot container. Well, I can take a 20 and add to it. I can take another and add it tall. I got 40-foot containers. But the rental aspect, we do weekly rentals, we do bi-weekly rentals, we do monthly rentals, we do a lot specialize in activations and tours. So I will do multiple month rental, we'll store and stage them. But then we also sell those containers a lot of times. So if you do a longer activation, it's going to make more sense to be an owner of that equipment, but we'll control the asset for them, we'll store it for them,
Wow.
we'll rebrand it, repurpose it. Some people like them for theme-based stuff, like Lush Labs, the soap company.
Oh, sure.
They love to do seasons, Thanksgiving or Christmas, and they tweak them and change them, and we change the asset all the time and relocate them.
Fantastic.
So yeah, you can purchase and or rent.
Fantastic. So,
And I
sorry,
might just
Phil,
add to
please.
that,
Yeah.
the sweet spot with that is most of our clients that are doing trade shows or special events are making last minute decisions. And when it comes to, hey, we need something within a couple of weeks, we now have that infrastructure to be able to rapidly rebrand it and deploy it quickly. We like 6 weeks to build, but we can do it in 2 if we
Wow.
have to.
Okay, now you've just committed on camera now, Bill. You got a 2-week turnaround time. Craig, I saw
It's
you get a
easy
little
though,
nervous.
easy for the guy who kind of does more sales and marketing versus the guy who
Who's
has
gotta
to
make it
build
happen.
it. Yeah, I'm the, you know.
Our COO here is
Yeah,
suddenly
you're making me
locked
quiver
me
a
into
little.
a 2-week turnaround time. But you heard it here first on the Scoop, folks. 2 weeks to get a container-based
And
branded
unfortunately,
solution.
it's very common. It's been done, lots of
Yeah.
times.
Well, look, we work with a lot of marketers. We understand the time pressures that they're under, right? And oftentimes the brief doesn't come through, the requirements for the activation take a while. So your ability to respond quickly to that is really a benefit and a value to brand marketers. Do you find yourself typically up against those time pressures, or do you generally have a longer lead time in working with brands?
We generally have a longer lead time. Usually, like Bill was saying, the planning phase usually takes, a bit of a moment, and then we usually get 6 weeks, 6. We seen there's a trend growing rapidly kind of as the pandemic's coming out and the demand is way higher. So we seem to be fitting in our queue a lot grander builds, and so it kind of takes that 6-week timeline. Well, I might have double the quantity of equipment that need to get out at the same exact 6-week time period.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we
especially
seem to be experiencing that right now.
Understood.
When we came out of the pandemic, or at least the first part of the year for when Southwest hit, there was a big Fomo moment.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so it was, what can you do and how fast?
Right.
And fortunately, we had the configurations to be able to pull together some solutions for George P. Johnson for the Volkswagen activation out there.
Great.
And that was on 60 Minutes. It was a great project.
Fantastic. George P. Johnson, one of our fine agencies in the country. I believe they won a couple of X Awards at the gala last night, so that's fantastic. And great to see that things are now beginning to come back, right, post-pandemic. I'd like to explore that a little bit with you guys. During the pandemic, how did that affect your business? Like a lot of sort of in-person experiences, I think faced, of course, a dramatic pullback, right, because of the pandemic. Did that impact your business in the same way, or were you guys able to kind of ride through the pandemic?
Well, fortunately we have a diverse product line, right? We come out of the shipping container world, so we were able to maintain some sales in high-end, complicated projects for the military. We sell containers nationally, but yes, it affected our business. Some of the projects rolled over into that time frame, but we were right there with everybody else, and so it's great to see things coming back.
Good.
But it was interesting because when it comes to virtual and the communication with Zoom and reaching out to clients in that pocket and time frame,
right.
I think we must have had 200 presentations in that time frame where we wouldn't have ordinarily been able to communicate with them. So now coming back face to face, we're looking forward to that. Hey, let's go back out, visit them, and shake hands and go, wow, it's humans, see, touch it, we can actually see it, and it's just, I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And are you guys feeling the energy here at the Experiential Marketing Summit? Do you feel like brands are excited to be back in person? Is that fueling some more excitement and growth for your own business?
Oh yeah, there's definitely energy in the air and in the space. I'm feeling good about it. It's actually a pretty good turnout, the show. I'm anticipating a pretty good result, and I just can't wait to see and meet all the people that I met the last year over Zoom.
That's right, exactly. See them in person, it's always much better that way. Now, I'm glad, Bill, that you brought up Zoom and digital and virtual experiences. We've noticed that a lot of the exhibits here do incorporate technology, right?
Yep.
Whether it's video-based technology, some do have some live streaming. We, of course, here on The Scoop are doing a live 3-day broadcast. I'd love to learn a little bit more, and Craig, maybe you could go into some of this. Do your brand customers, are they looking to integrate technology into the experiences that you create for them? And maybe you could provide some examples of that and how they're using that.
Yeah, over the years, it seems to keep scaling. Right now, it seems LED TVs are the hot thing for us. You'll see on our booth, when you kind of go over there, you'll see a big marquee on the roof, as well as two very large LED TVs, 8 foot by 8 foot, that we have our displays and presentations going on. We just came off of a gaming show where they used the technology, our container, to display a company called Exala. Our video screens, we partnered with Tech to kind of provide our equipment.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
great.
I'll just add that there's been an increase in demand for podcasts, using our space for podcasts.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
And are they doing just recording podcasts in the space? Are they actually streaming that live? A mix of those things?
A little bit of combination.
Okay.
The main thing they're looking for is almost like a sound booth and climate-controlled space.
Fantastic. And Craig, it strikes me that the modularity that you guys bring with your products and services makes it an ideal, can I call it a platform, right, for an exhibiting experience? Because as Bill suggested, if you want a studio, you might have specific requirements about sound and so forth. Tell us a little bit more about the modularity that's inherent in the solutions you offer.
Yeah, so we're prefabricating everything in our warehouse in a controlled environment, so how we're hanging the screens, how the power source is coming in. So normally when you come to a trade show floor, you got big riggers and cabling coming down from the ceiling, and you're attaching and then bringing things up. And again, that takes quite a number of people.
Sure.
The expense is pretty grand. You see ours, we have prefabricated mounting brackets that are on there. So you're just connecting those screens together and putting the power to it, and then picking them up and placing them. So the marquee 2 stories in the air. The beauty of that is it assembles, that was a few hours versus days, as well. The extra cost associated to the rigging and all that disappears. And so it all is now incorporated on the container. So there's a lot of advantages. We also did with GPJ, Cisco here in Vegas. a number of years
Mandalay
ago.
Bay.
Oh,
Mandalay
sure.
Bay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We did a 20-foot tall by 60-foot long jumbo screen, and our container was the infrastructure to support the whole system.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So
they brought in 10,000 of their employees, and the CEO of Cisco had a podcast on top.
wow.
Yeah, we
Unbelievable.
did do a
It's
podcast
nice.
on top.
So scalability is certainly a key value and benefit as well.
Absolutely.
Craig, you mentioned you can crunch this down to a 10 by 10 or have kind of a massive, several hundred to several thousand participant kind of an experience.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories is the NBA All-Star Adidas event a couple of years ago
Nice.
downtown LA. Our client, Caden Productions, came to us and said, Bill, how many containers do you have already cut up, ready to go? I need a list, I need a layout. We need to activate within the next 4 weeks. And so within 4.5 weeks, we deployed 44 units for 7 different use cases, 40 footers with LED screens, retail spaces, the NBA All-Star Surround,
Wow.
right next to the stage, containers flanking the stage stacked. And so it was awesome to see, hey, if you have clients out there that are looking for something big, fast, and amazing,
You guys can
we
bring it.
have the inventory and the infrastructure to be able to deploy.
Wonderful. Folks, if you just joined us here, I'm Steve Boyce on The Scoop. I'm talking and having a great conversation with Bill Hinchliff and Craig Raposa from IPME. And guys, I can't remember the long acronym. Bill, what's the acronym again?
International Port Management Enterprise.
Gotcha. Usually when you acronymize your name, you're trying to move away from the former name, right? So you probably don't want me to keep reminding folks. But we're really getting into a great conversation here. I love the modularity. Craig, I love how you talk about the time savings that you can bring, right? Which time is money. And I'd love to explore a little bit, can any brand afford one of these kinds of solutions? Let's talk about affordability.
Yeah, so the beauty of our systems is that we have these in our inventory. So we have a fleet, we have a cut sheet on a weekly rental base. They start as low as $6,000 for the week to rent. We do like to reuse, repurpose. Sustainability is a big thing. So a lot of our inventory that may come back from a client and have the flooring already in, a specific paint job, LED TVs, mounting brackets and all that. A lot of people that are on a budget can conserve and save money by repurposing and reusing the floor, not necessarily reconfiguring stuff, but adding their brand to it. And therefore they could reuse, repurpose a system that was used previous in its existence, and they could save a lot of money.
That's wonderful. Bill, that sustainability concept, right? We're hearing that a lot here at EMS. It's been around for a little while, and I think brands are really in tune with this, right? It kind of goes along with the general corporate social responsibility, right? Wanting to be a good corporate citizen. As you engage with clients and prospects, do they talk to you about sustainability? Is that an important motivator for them in utilizing your solutions to help promote their brands?
It obviously depends upon the clients that you're talking to, but the ones that are engaged and looking to do something right, love the fact that a container can be used, the same container in many cases in our space has been used 3-4 times for 4 or 5 different brands.
That's amazing.
So, and they love the fact that, hey, we're doing something, we're not throwing away basically anything on the booth other than maybe the floor, other than that, but it's awesome to see the entire infrastructure being utilized over and over again.
Wonderful. And Craig, I think you even said, even with the flooring, right? You guys have different flooring options, some of which are more sustainably focused, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you want to talk about some of those details inside.
Yeah.
Right?
So right now, again, with our sustainability, we like to try to use the products that are most environmentally friendly. On our container trade show floor, you'll see on our flooring we used what's called an FSC flooring. It's Forest Stewart Council, and people follow kind of a protocol associated to replanting the trees, not using formaldehyde in the wood glues and so on. We also offer through Brewmark a product called Perfect Plank. That is a recyclable material. So there's some options. You'll also see, we are branded the IPME Green Zone. It's a hashtag.
Nice.
So the IPME Green Zone, which is what you'll walk into over there, is all about sustainability. You won't see a single piece of literature. You're going to see QR codes. The QR codes you scan, and now you get our literature instantaneously. It works really well for everybody. You're saving money on the print. You don't want to walk around with paper. You'd rather, right? And what are you going to do with it? You're probably going to throw it into the circular bin. The other thing that's really cool is normally during trade show booths, when the floor is clearing out, you're going to see these crazy piles of debris and dirt or product and stuff. All of ours goes home with us. Our landfill impact is almost zero unless we have to change out flooring.
Wow, that's amazing. And first of all, I just want to thank you on behalf of all trade show attendees that we don't have to carry the tote bags full of paperwork back home, right? It's always hard to sort through. I never take full advantage of it, but I do like the QR code scanning, right? It's fast, it's efficient, and we're saving, obviously, on paper and trees. This is really amazing, guys, and I love Bill, hashtag IPME Green Zone, right?
Yes.
Where else can folks find more information about your solutions? I want to make sure we're sharing that information.
Well, you could definitely go to our Instagram, that's IPME Containers.
Okay.
And then you can go to the website, www.goipme.com.
Fantastic. I don't know if we can run graphics on that, but folks, I hope you caught that. IPME's got some fantastic solutions, sustainable, green, modular, scalable for any brand and any budget. It's been a fantastic conversation. You know, one of the things I'd love to always bring our audience are some insider tips, right? So as brands are thinking about, gosh, that sounds really good, I'd love to leverage some of those solutions. How would you advise brands as they're thinking about going forward with something like this? What are some of the things they need to be thinking about to best prepare to take full advantage of the value and benefits that your solutions offer?
Well, I think what's big now and growing is our mobile tours. So, and we bring the product to the client, right? And so if they can pick a unit, price it out quickly, and you know, put together that mobile city tour, they're going to be able to take advantage of using a container, and not to mention pricing it out with that model that Craig mentioned, that you could cost it out, you know, within 10 minutes. You could put together a rough order magnitude just because the base model cost and your interior finish cost is right around what, you know, pretty consistent cost rate. I don't know. That's
so in short order, you can get a budget together, you can get an experience and an activation put together.
Yes.
Craig, go ahead.
Yeah, we have an a la carte menu for our most common products. So the flooring, LED rental, all that, and you can now start to piecemeal. Okay, the container, this model costs X. Oh, I want 2 of those.
Right.
I go into my a la carte menu. Oh, I want to add this, and it's all written out for them. We even have general costs on transport for a container going cross country, say to New York or to Miami, so they can kind of start to plug in all the numbers, and we'll do it for them. But it's really simple.
Fantastic.
So, the key was simplification.
Simplification. I love that. Look, every brand marketer wants to simplify things because marketing is always too complex. Love the simplification. What else should they be thinking about in terms of like content, their creative assets? Or is there any need to change the existing content or creative or brand assets they have, or can that all be reused and used right within the solution?
No, they can all be reused. You'll see, like again, I love the LEDs because that marquee, a lot of times they might build a specific marquee or a specific sign for the top of a structure, and when it's done, a lot of times that goes into the landfill. The nice thing about this marquee, for example, you can brand it any which way you want, it's moving, all that, it's a rented asset. But on a normal classic kind of putting stuff on your product, we can use SEG, so you can reuse your SEG. We've got magnets that we can adhere to the container with a sign that they could take with them, bring it to their building, or reuse again in other activations. So we have classic means of branding, and then we have a little bit of how it incorporates with the container so that you can repurpose and reuse it again.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, our newest products are the LED screens and SEG.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, marketers are going to love that they don't have to reformat all of their great creative and brand assets, that they can find a solution that they can quickly put together, Bill, right? 2-week time frame. A simple solution to reduce complexity and one that can scale to their budget and the size of the experience and activation. I just want to thank you both, Bill Hinchliff and Craig Raposa from IPME. It's been my pleasure, gentlemen, to have you here on The Scoop. We're going to go over and take some footage of the Green Zone experience and work that into this segment. And I just want to thank you for being our guests here on The Scoop.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so
really
much for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Wonderful. And thank you folks for watching this segment. We'll have more great interviews and insights from the Experiential Marketing Summit come up. Don't go away. There's more value here for you.